welcome to Snips Happen. Today, Snips is here with a important message to let you know that the second annual virtual retreat is on sale. And this one is a hidden spine journal, hardcover, and Miss E will be teaching you how to make this beautiful journal. It is a patchwork theme. It will be live like the last one on her YouTube channel August 12th, August 13th, and August 14th. If you cannot make those dates, you can go back and watch them over and over and over and over again. You can watch them in a year. You can watch them in 2 years. Nobody can watch them other than the people that purchase these kits. International friends, you are not forgotten. You can also participate. You will not get a physical box like the people in the United States, but you will get the digital collection so that you can follow along with us. I do know that it's patchwork themed. Other than that, I do not know what's in the box, but the box is the same price as last time. Everything for this retreat will be linked down below. In today's video, Snips decided that she is going to be working with the June mystery montage. She did do a reveal video of this. It will be linked down below. We are going to make a journal out of the envelope. I have prepped everything so you do not have to watch me cut anything. We are going to put our back and our front on as I did. I labeled them. Look at this. Look at how prepared I am. I labeled them and everything, inside and back side, so that we can just put them on, put our signature in, and decorate. These are our fronts. These are our fronts. Yep, I do know that. These are our fronts. I just gotta look for my F and B, so I know where to put them. I folded it at 6, and then I scored one line to the left and one line to the right. I am just getting used to my 12-inch scoreboard that was gifted to me. So therefore, yeah, you know me and my math anyways. It's 1 + 1 = 3 around here. So yeah, that's how that rolls. So I'm going to glue this, and once I glue this, we will get rock and rolling. But I'm gonna go glue these, and I'll be right back, because you don't need to watch me glue these down, right? We want to get to the meat and the potatoes. So hold that thought. Alrighty, so we got our covers on our front and on our inside, on our back. So what I thought I would do to reinforce our spine, and there is some more of this in the shop, and this is the favorite stuff around town, is this nice signature washi, which is nice and wide. So I will leave this stuff linked, or leave my link in the description, because you definitely need one of these and a backup. I have to go grab my backup because I only have the one, and I have to get more, because you know everybody needs some of this in their washi bin. This is what my thought on the matter anyways. But hey, if you don't use washi, then you don't need it. But if you use washi, it goes with everything. And you know, like when you're looking for that little pick me up, like what does that project need? This is your answer. This is your answer. This is, you know, when I say I need my emotional support washi, this is my emotional support washi right now. This is definitely my emotional support washi. And I'm just using my my scraper, my washi scraper right now to enforce it, to make it stick. It is very sticky. It's not one that you have to add glue to, unless you're one that you don't trust washi and you have to add glue to everything. And you can add it, but that's how I reinforced my spine. And then, to be even more prepared, because I didn't want you guys to wait for me to get my signature together, I already put my signature together for this. Yes, I did. So my signature is the digitals, right? And then I put the lined paper in, and then I made some pages with the freebies, the Friday freebies from this past week, and I just added those in so that we had some fancy pages, and then I added the envelopes. That's all I did. So we have those. That's what our signature is. So I'm going to, once again, take my journal, find my center. This is how I normally do my journals anyways, but we're going to do a signature together because this is only one signature. Put my big paper clips on there, which my big paper clips I found at the Walmart. Make sure it's exactly where that I want it. And then I made a template. Oh, let's get up here and frame. Out of a piece of paper here in my office that is the exact size of my signature. Folded it like this. I made it, it's about 2 inches. Folded it in half, long ways, and then I folded it in half, and then I fold that half in half, and that gives me my 3 points of pokage. If this was more than one signature, I would not make my template this way. No. I would measure it out and do all the fun stuff, but, and then being that I don't have one of them nifty cradle things, a book works just fine for me to poke my signature. So I'm going to take my pokey tool, and I think I'm going to use this pokey tool. Speaking of pokey tools, this is not really a pokey tool. It's called an awl, but most people in the journal world calls it a pokey tool. There is some of those over in the shop too. Miss E just got some of those in. So if you're on the market for a new one or you want a fancy one, she has one that's good for arthritis. So yeah, my link will be down yonder. So if you want to just go over to the shop and take you a peeky poo, you can do so. And then I'm just going to take my needle after I move the book out of the way. Move the book, Tara, move the book, put the book where the book goes so that you have spaces to do what you have to do. And we're going to do what they call a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I'm going to go through the center with my needle, and then I'm going to come up through here like so, and I'm going to go down through the bottom like so, and then I'm going to come up through the middle again, and hopefully I can, there we go, no resistance. Look at that. First time. This journal really wants to be friends with me today. And then you got to make sure that it's really tight, not super tight, because you don't want to tear your pages. You want to make sure we're tight. And then I always try to manipulate it some so I'm not wasting thread, because I don't like to waste thread unless you want to put a dangle or whatnot on there. But I always like to try to, then I cut the extra off. Well, we're gonna, I don't know how I dulled my cutter beads, but I gotta have my husband, you know, tighten them up for me. And then I'm gonna do the S knot, because I don't want a bulky knot in the middle. I want to do the S knot, which I learned that from Natasha over at Treasure Books, that if you do the S knot, you don't have the bulky knot, and it makes it where they lay on top of each other. So I just do the S knot now, and then I have them where they're, and then you can do your bow or whatever you want in the middle. I'm just going to leave them dangling for the time being, because that's how I want it. And then we have our signature in. And then we'll just flip through. I'll flip through quick and show you what I have. I did not attach my envelopes there because I have to still cover them. So I have this one here so we can do a flip, a tuck it, an addition. And then I made these ones that do this. So we have that one in there. Those are also from the freebie in the blog. I will leave the blog down below if you want to go grab those. It's our center. And then I have another envelope here, which these envelopes were in the kit. Everything that's in here so far is from the kit except for these brownish pages and the freebies that I used. And these are supposed to go here. That's why they're sliding, because they're not in the pocket. There we go. And that is our signature so far. And that we have a back pocket here in the back. Alright, alrighty, I likey. And then for the front cover, I made a book plate thing so that we were prepared for that. I think I put a little bit too much in there, but hey, you know me, I go big or go home, so that's how that will roll. But I'm not going to put that on there right at the moment because I want to be able to open and close the book. So at this point in time, we now are ready to decorate. So I'm going to put my needle away so we don't lose our needle. We gotta pick up as we go because we don't want a mess. You know, like how Barney says, clean up, clean up. So that's what we're gonna do. And then we have this fancy book that came with the box. So what I thought we could do with that, first we have this. We have these scraps that I cut off from the front that we could use to make some pockets and tucks, maybe? We could do that, you know, like make some pockets and tucks. I really love this gingham, so I thought that we could use to make a tag, and then this here we could maybe use to make a pocket, and then on the pocket we could put one of these little things that I cut out. Alright, that's what we're going to work on right now, is we're going to work on doing that. So let's get that part rolling. This here is going to be the tag that goes down in there. Righty, Tara, let's get this show going. Let's get her going. We're going to cut the pocket right there. How much is that? I don't know. About that much. Because I don't use a ruler. Because I don't like to use a ruler. I just measure it, make sure it fits, and then we go on to the next task. And then we're gonna just put some glue down. Put some glue. Here we go. Yep, you can't see me because I was just putting glue down because I was not in frame. When am I ever in frame? That's the question. That's the $1,000,000 question. And then we are going to take an envelope. No, it's not an envelope. It is one of the beautiful doilies that came along with this. And we are going to layer that with the doily. And then there was these wonderful frames and tags that came with it. And I'm just going to reach in here and I'm going to pull out a label. A pretty label. And then we're just going to put a pretty label under there like so. Just like that. And that's going to be our pocket. That's how I'm going to do a pocket. Just like that. Because that way we're using the doily. I'm showing you how to use a doily. And when I do doilies, I'll show you in a minute. I don't put glue in these little holes like this. I just put it in the center and then that holds it down. Because whatever else you're putting on there is also holding down the other parts of it. So that's how I see it anyways. You can do you. If you want to put it, if you feel more secure putting the rest of it down, that is okay with you. And when I do my clusters, I like to do them in threes, or 3, 5, 7, like odd numbers, because it looks better to the eye. If it's even, it doesn't look good to the eye, to me anyways. That's just my opinion. Again, my opinion. That's how my brain works. You can do you. If you think you need 6 of something, then you put 6 of something then. There's that. And then where'd my tag go? Okay, here's my tag. So my tag will go in like this. And then where I have a tag punch, so I'm gonna take my tag punch. You can grab, these are also, they're different color, but you can also grab them. See, I like the gingham, but the gingham you can write on, the flowers you cannot. So we're gonna go flowers in the front, gingham in the back. And then what we'll do with that, again, we'll pull from here. Oh, that's too clashy, Tara. Oh, see, I like that, like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna punch this like that, like so. And then I'm going to take my hole punch, my what you call it right here. I'll go like a so, and then I'm gonna take this, like this, which is just a bulb pin, and we're gonna just keep them like this, and we're gonna have a double tag in there, and that's one pocket done. I'm not gonna do the envelopes today, so you don't have to watch me do that. And then let's see, over here we can do another pocket, and I really love that right there, just like that. So but I gotta cut this down just a wee bit. So we're gonna cut this down like so, like so. I don't know how much I'm cutting off. Like I said, you can make your pocket fit your taste for your journal. See now, down here in this corner, that's rounded. I didn't notice it on the other pocket, but I did notice it on this pocket. So it will be rounded on this pocket, just so that it looks cohesive on this pocket. And then I'm gonna put that there. And I'm only gonna put one thing on this pocket. Why? Because that's all that catches my eye on this one. So we're only gonna go one. And then we're gonna just put some glue on there, like so. And this one, I'm not actually gonna make a full pocket. I'm only gonna make it a tuck. So I'm gonna go down one side and down the other, and then that way, if I make a big journaling card or whatnot, I can put it so it's, see how, well, when it glues, it'll all fit there. Am I gonna put anything else in there? One would ask. I don't know. So we're just gonna move on to see what else we can add. I'm not gonna do anything to the center at the moment. I'm trying to use up these little pieces that I have right here. We could do a corner tuck right here, so let's cut this in half. Half looks about right there. And did I tell you that these hydrangeas are one of my favorite flowers in the whole entire world? Yes, I love me hydrangeas, and the blue ones actually are my favorite color. I do have some that I'm attempting to grow in my yard. They just started coming up out of the ground actually, so I'm pretty excited about that. There's my corner tuck. We're going to grab us. Let me just. Oh, we have these here too. What do we have here that we can tuck in here? Ooh, I really like that. Will that fit on there? No, it will not. That will though. That will fit on there. And I like how that fits there. So we are going to take that, and I'm going to layer this with that gingham. But before I glue that on there, did I move this out of my way? Before I glue this on here, I'm going to glue it on here with this first, like that, because I don't want to impede on my pocket, right? And then I'm going to So we're gonna glue it like this first, so that when I put it on here, like so, that I can just glue the back piece. Yes, there's stuff on the back, but that is fine. When you're using double-sided paper, you always run the risk of losing one side or the other, but I am okay with that. And then we just put our tag in there when we make our tag. And you know what? We're going to use that for our tag because we have the blue on the back to write with. How about that? Here we go. We have our tag. And do we want to make it a double one like we did before? I think I'm going to, because you can write on the back of that too. Yep, I think I'm gonna. Where'd it go? Right here. Right here. And I have this cute little dangle on this one, so we're just gonna let this dangle ride. We're gonna let this dangle ride with it. How about that? Because that cute little dangle looks really cute with it. So we're just gonna let that dangle go. There we go. I don't know. It might make it a little too bulky, so let's take the dangle off and just use the... You can always change your mind. Like I just changed my mind. I changed my mind a lot. We could just take that off, put it back in the bowl. Put this on here. Like, I like to have writing space. I do like, even though I don't really journal in the journals, I do like to have writing space. I don't know why that is. Because I'm weird, I guess. One can say that I'm weird. Alright. We're almost to using up all of the scraps that I had here. So that means that we'll be able to call this video a video and then come back with making some other things, like some tags and journaling cards. And that I will have the envelopes done when we come back. I want to do this one like I did the other one. I really like that, like so. And nope, that one's too, that kind of matches pocket. But I like it against that. So we're gonna do that like that. So let's glue this one down on here. Like that. And then we are going to glue it down on the pocket. Like that. And then we just have to make some other things to go in here. And where is we at? We're not too bulky yet. And then we just have to put our cover on. Yep, our cover, our little piece here. So I'm gonna glue this on so that it's on there. And that is the start of our journal for the June Ease Mystery Montage. And if there's any that are still left, I will let you know. If there's any openings for July, I will let you know. I'll leave all the information linked down below. Any of the products that I use, I will leave linked down below. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.